I know a lot of you guys are looking for more affordable places to live. The cost of living has increased like crazy and life is just becoming less affordable. So in our search for finding somewhere cheaper to live, I'm going to share with you guys what we are learning. If you are trying to save money, Florida is not the state you want to be in. My family recently just moved out of Florida, and a huge factor to that was just the insane cost of living increases that we experienced while living there. I understand that the cost of living has increased across the United States, but the increases that are happening in Florida are extreme. And when you couple that with the already overinflated housing market, property taxes, the cost of homeowners insurance, car insurance, all of these factors together make Florida extremely expensive. And I understand that I'm going to get a lot of comments that are going to tell me that compared to California or New York City, that Florida is extremely affordable. And if you're comparing it to that, I understand. But there are plenty of other places across the United States and across the world that are way less expensive than Florida. So my family decided to sell our home and to find a cheaper place to live. We love the beaches, we love the weather, but the cost of living there is not justifiable. We are currently looking for cheaper options to reduce our cost of living, and I know a lot of you guys are too. It's getting harder to pay for things and to just survive. And when you're able to cut your cost, it really makes life a lot more enjoyable when you're not struggling so much. So right now we are currently back in our hometown of East Tennessee. Both me and my husband, we were raised here, and East Tennessee is a very affordable place to live. I've gotten a lot of comments in my videos letting me know that the cost of living in Tennessee has increased and that it is just as expensive as Florida. But that hasn't been my experience. I mean, the cost of living has increased just like it has everywhere, but it is still much more affordable to live in Tennessee than it is to live in Florida, with maybe the exception of Nashville. I don't have a lot of experience with Nashville. I wouldn't move there because I know that it's so expensive to live in that particular city. So I'm going to be looking at areas outside of Nashville. We are located just outside of Knoxville, and that is really, in my opinion, the best place to live in Tennessee. You've got the Smoky Mountains, you've got downtown Knoxville, and there's just so many things to do in this area, and it is absolutely beautiful. So before we left Florida, we visited a few houses in the area that we were living in, which is going to be like the central Atlantic coast. It's actually a very affordable place to live as far as Florida goes. It's not a big city like Miami or Orlando. It's like the Daytona Beach area. And then when we got up here to Tennessee, we're in the Knoxville area. We've also been looking up some houses in like the same price range. So I want to compare two houses with you guys. So we're a family of 5, and so both of these houses are family homes. They are both just under $300,000, and I'm going to show you what you can get with $300,000 or just under in both of these areas. So I'm picking a house. Location is important, and I didn't want to pick like one inner city house and one super rural house. So both of these houses are in a pretty good location. As far as the Florida house is just 10 minutes from the beach. It's about an hour and 45 minutes from Disney. And, you know, there's a lot of outdoorsy things to do around it. It's a block from the Halifax. And then the house that I'm going to show you in Tennessee is like 5 minutes from downtown Knoxville. It's 50 minutes from Dollywood. It's about an hour from the Smoky Mountains, Gatlinburg. There's the Knoxville Zoo is like 5 minutes away from this house. And then you can walk to the Knoxville Botanical Garden. So it's in a very good, centrally located area of Knoxville. One thing to keep in mind that neither Tennessee or Florida have state income tax. I know that that's really important when a lot of people are looking for what state to move to. So you don't have to worry about that in either of these states. Let's go look at both of these houses and see what you're going to get for just under $300,000. And then at the end of the video, make sure you stick around because I'm going to explain to you exactly how much more you're spending for property taxes, car insurance, homeowners insurance in Florida, besides that upfront sticker price of the house. So first, let's look at the Florida home. As you can see, the location is really good. It is just about 10 minutes from the beach and just right across the street from the Halifax. It looks pretty nice on the outside, like the yard and stuff. It's very much has that Florida vibe. Its asking price is $289 and it's 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet. The lot size is just under 1/4 of an acre. And then it says, don't miss this home. From the front porch, you will enjoy relaxing breezes and eye-catching views of the Halifax River. This house is an architectural blast to the past, which basically means it needs to be updated. Brand new electrical service replacing Federal Pacific has been contracted for. I don't know exactly what that means. Stunning refinished wood floors, high ceilings, lots of windows bring the outside in. The wall of windows in the living room have a surprising river view. 2 timeless vintage bathrooms, and updated in the 80s kitchen, glassed air-conditioned back room, perfect for sitting. Screened in back porch, huge private backyard. And then if you look at this price and tax history, you can see it actually went pending at this price, but then was put back on the market. So I don't know exactly what happened. And then you can see the 2022 taxes were $2,877, which I'm going to talk more about that at the end of this video. So this house was actually right down the street from where we were living at the time. So we walked on over there, which was kind of a mistake because it was 1,000,000 degrees outside. But the house was definitely vintage. Everything basically needed to be updated. I mean, it was taken very good care of, probably by an elderly person that had lived in it for a very long time. But it needed to be completely renovated. The kitchen, the bathrooms, they were all original. The flooring all needed to be ripped up, except for there was some original hardwood floor that was okay. This house also needed a new air conditioner and a new roof. They were both very old. Lovely colors in this bathroom.
There is some hexagon tiles.
Pink tub, maroon tile.
No, they're little hexagons.
The outside area was nice. It was a very pretty yard. There was a very drunk neighbor who was stumbling to try and get into their house, and actually the realtor had to tell them to get off of her car. So that was kind of interesting. But these are the professional pictures on the website that, our videography isn't wonderful. So these are a little bit nicer pictures so you can see exactly what it looked like inside and just get a little better idea. It pictures really well, but everything really does. Just, basically you're going to have to put several tens of thousands of dollars into this house to get it updated. Particularly that roof and the air conditioner. And honestly, homeowners insurance is so strict right now in Florida that I'm not even sure you could get this house insured without putting a new roof on it at the very minimum. That might be one reason why this house went contingent and then went back on the market, because it might not be insurable. I just don't know. So we'll just finish looking through the pictures. This little Florida room is really nice because it's really light and open, and it's kind of like an extra living space. I do love that about Florida, are the Florida rooms that they have. And then the deck kind of needs to be refinished, but you know, I mean, it's fine. It's nice to have a screened-in porch in Florida because of all the bugs. And you know, the yard is really, really pretty and is a decent size. And the location of this house is really good because it is really close to the beach and the Halifax, which is what you can see in this picture right here. It's kind of like an intercoastal waterway. So, I mean, it's a great location. Now let's fast forward a week, and we are now in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we are going to go look at this house. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 2,100 square feet. Are you looking for an affordable 4-bedroom house? This property has been completely renovated, including a new roof, siding, windows, kitchen, flooring, bathroom, and it's just waiting for you to call it home sweet home. It is on a double lot and is 0.39 acres. It was last sold in April for $115,000. So this is a flip. So you do need to make sure that they did a good job flipping it. And its 2022 taxes was just $347, which I'm going to talk about later. Before I show you the professional pictures, let's look at the video that we took while we were there visiting. I was really, really impressed with this house. They did a really good job flipping it, and there was also the potential to use the part of the house as rental income. When you look at a flip, you always want to make sure that they did it well and not just cheaply. So, I mean, there would be other things that you would have to like check on to make sure that they didn't just hide stuff. But on the surface level, you know, the bathrooms are all completely done. The entire house was repainted. The windows are new, or at least newer. The kitchen had all new appliances with the exception of a refrigerator. And honestly, this kitchen, where you put the refrigerator is going to be kind of awkward. So I wasn't a super fan about that. But this was the whole upstairs, and we thought that it was really nice. And then, surprise, there was an entire downstairs that had been finished that had an additional 2 bedrooms and bathroom, and also had its own entrance. So it could actually be used as rental income if you wanted to put like a little kitchenette down there. So for the space, this house was really cool. The only negative about, you know, Knoxville is you can't really do short-term rentals. You have to do long-term rentals, which is something that we're like looking into a little bit. We are looking at houses in Tennessee and considering having it as rental income. And this house would be really cool for that. So these are the professional pictures, and honestly, they really don't do the house justice. I mean, the pictures are really good, but you don't get an idea of the layout of the house until you actually go and visit it and get a feel for how big this house actually is, especially compared to the houses that we're used to in Florida. So now let's look at some of the numbers. First, let's look at property taxes in Tennessee versus Florida. Now remember, the house in Tennessee is a lot bigger and has a bigger property than the house in Florida did. One good thing about Tennessee is Tennessee has extremely low property taxes. The property taxes on the Tennessee house in 2022, according to Zillow, were $347. while the property taxes on the Florida home were $2,877. That is over a $2,500 difference. When you look at homeowners insurance, now this was just a guess. I had to do a little bit of research, so this is a little bit more up in the air as far as exactly what you're going to pay. Some of it depends on your credit and all of that other stuff. There's other factors that are going to come into play, but on average, Florida's homeowners insurance is much higher than Tennessee's homeowners insurance, which makes sense because of all of the hurricanes, storms, flooding, everything that happens in Florida is just going to naturally cause homeowners insurance to be higher. So from my research for the house in Florida, the homeowners insurance is going to come to around $3,500. And this would not include flood insurance. Flood insurance is separate. And after living in Florida, I feel like this number is pretty accurate. In comparison, homeowners insurance on the house in Tennessee is going to be around $1,900. Something important to remember is that the Tennessee house is significantly bigger than the Florida home. So, when you're comparing these two, you have to take into account that not only is it less expensive to insure the house in Tennessee, but you're also insuring a lot more house. Something also really important to take into consideration is the cost of car insurance. This was kind of like a shocker when we moved from Tennessee to Florida, is how much more expensive our car insurance was. There's multiple factors that play into the increase in car insurance in Florida. I mean, unsafe drivers, Florida being a no-fault state, you have a lot of tourists, you have a lot of drunk drivers, there's a lot of people that are speeding, there are storm damages that damage vehicles. So the cost of insurance, even for car insurance in Florida, is going to be more expensive. So I did a little bit of research, and the average cost of full coverage car insurance in Florida is $4,326, and the average cost of full coverage car insurance in Tennessee is just $1,720. If you just want to get bare minimum coverage, then that price in Florida is going to be $1,286, while in Tennessee it's going to be $428. These numbers are based on Forbes Advisors for 2023. So that's going to be an annual difference of $2,600 for full coverage, or $861 for just your minimum coverage. I hope this was kind of eye-opening to really compare the two states. I'm going to keep on sharing more of these videos on ways to save money with your cost of living as my family continues on this journey of really trying to find the most affordable way for us to live based on our lifestyle. And one of the next videos that I have planned is to go and look at very inexpensive houses in the East Tennessee area. I know not everybody has a family and wants to spend $300,000 on a big house. So I'm thinking looking around the budget of around $150,000 and show you guys what that can get you. And also looking at the inside of Knoxville, but then also going outside into more rural areas to kind of show you how cheap it is to live in some of these rural towns in East Tennessee. Yeah, you lose some of your conveniences, but East Tennessee is beautiful and you gain a lot from moving outside of the city also. My husband is from a very rural part of East Tennessee. When you think Appalachia, that was him, and that was how he was raised, in rural Appalachia. And it is beautiful out in those areas. And it is also extremely affordable. The job pay is less, but particularly if you are working remote, there are some amazing low cost places to live. There's also some great opportunities to like go off grid and homestead and have a little farm and do all those things to live sustainably in this area. So anyway, stay tuned for future videos on some really affordable places in the East Tennessee area. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.